So right now I'm in the midst of reviewing each part, cleaning it up, sanding it down, putting it together. This will probably be the first thing I'll be working on, where I want to make sure everything's done right. But I did cover a few things here, a couple of the weaponry. I did not remove the parts for the bazooka because I didn't think it was necessary for the diorama build. I did start working on the rifle to the point that I did put some putty at the end of, inside this, because it didn't look right having that space empty there. So I filled it in, sanded it down. I may do another fill in later on, sand it down a little bit more. I sand down a little bit here and there just so it can be nice and smooth. I'm gonna paint something inside there. Get this out, get this out of the way. The next thing I was preparing were the missile launcher canisters, as you can see here. These two are done. I sanded it down. They only needed to be done is primed and painted. But the whole idea would be to have it like this. As a matter of fact, hang on a second. This is here's the shoulder part for the right arm. My intention would be to put them like so, to look like this. So it looks like something like that. I may reverse this to keep it maybe like that, keep it like that in that position. I may put like a railing system of some sort, so that way, on this, haven't figured it out yet. The missiles itself, I'll paint it red, but I'll leave that last. So then when everything is done, I'll paint that red and slide them in, because it goes in nice and tight. It's not loose, and once it's painted, it's gonna stay there permanently. So the tank I'm gonna be working on in a minute, and then I'll just get it out of the way so that way it doesn't bother me. And then again, just clear up all, make sure I cover all the parts here, sand it down. The one thing I did remove, which the kit comes with, and I'll show it to you right now, is that you do get two different heads. One head is without the slot for the commander type, and the other one's with. And I've been thinking, it is, in my mind, the character who's going to be piloting the mobile suit will be a veteran, and he will be the commanding type. But if I'm not in real-world combat, the one thing you don't want is to let the enemy know who's the commanding officer. Because if you're being looked at by some sniper or some scout from a distance, and they'll look at the guy and says, "Oh, I see that mobile suit with an antenna. He must be the commander." It's like the same thing in World War II. Many of the soldiers never saluted their commanding officers in the field because they didn't want to get, shot, shot first. So in my mind, it's probably best not to put that on. I know that in larger combat scales, theater operations, you'll do need some sort of mobile suit that will have the commanding antenna on, and they say, okay, he's the commander. But in my scenario, not so much. So let me continue cleaning up, and then we'll see. I'll show you what else I've come across. Continue on with building some of the parts of the kit that I want to get out of the way. As you can see, I finished building the Type 61-5 main battle tank from the also Gundam series. Very well detailed, as you can look at here, close up. Some parts need to be sanded down, maybe the tracks again. I haven't glued it yet, so I'll take it apart later on just so I can finalize it. There's a part here that I forgot to put. Ooh. Yeah, hold on a second. Better finish this right now. Plus, I want to take a moment to show you something that I've had for quite some time. Shit. Alright, so I think basically that goes like that. There we go. So that's fine. So this is the redone modernized, or you could say updated version of the M61, or the Type 61, excuse me. And here is the original anime and Type 61 tank from the series. If you go to Gundam Wiki, and type in Type 61 tank, you'll see this little tank. The first thing you'll see the picture is that little tank right there. This is the what the tank looked like during the animated series. It's kind of almost near identical to the animation series. You're gonna have to forgive me. I don't remember how I got this. I think I got it through some sort of Gashapon kit or toy. I have no idea. It's a 4-piece plastic part. It feels, you know, hard. It's hard plastic. I glued the 2 tracks to the main fuselage, and then of course the tank tread. I mean the turret can be turned left and right. But this is what it would what the tank originally looked like in the series, and obviously when the animation series got a little bit more technical and starting to see more CGI anime, they decided to make it look like this, which is pretty damn awesome. But I wanted to show you guys this one. Going back to this little tank, I'm going to see if I can modify it a bit, you know, just give it a little bit more detail. It has a lot of detail, a lot of surface detail. The one thing that I was thinking of doing, and I thought I could do it, but I'm not that very good at it, would be to replace the back area of the tank and maybe create my own stand, my own railing stand. Because if you look at the 1/35th scale, there's a photo etch part of this as all wiring, you know, all brass. The brass that I have is too thick. I would have to go to a hobby store and find a thinner one. But in between me bending it and getting in the right position and welding it, it's going to take me a long time. Not saying that I'm not going to do it, because I still got a couple of months to go. But it's just something I wanted to show off, and I will work on, you know, every day or a couple of days, you know, once every few days. I'll go to it, I'll see what I can, you know, fuss around with it. The one thing I can probably do is probably pop open the hatch and put in one, you know, cut one of the figures. Let me see which figure. I don't think there's a figure here that I can use, because each one of them are holding the weapon. Here, let me show you something. So like these guys, like this one here, sorry, tends to focus out of place. If I cut them in half, it doesn't look right to have a figure pointing gun out of the tank turret. However, this little guy right here, which is the figure from the Wappa, I could definitely do with and put it right on there. That would probably be a better choice. So I'll look into that. It's not going to have the explosion, so there's, you know, obviously then the tank is not exploding while it's going down the street. So this will be good. Alright, let's continue on working on the Zaku. So here it is, the Zaku II, fully built and completed. Completed as in before I do my final completion of this kit. But I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like before I begin modifying it. I spent my time gluing specific parts and sanding down, mainly something like the calf legs. There was a seam line here, so I glued it. I applied a little pressure so that the paint, you know, the The glue bleeded out. I let it dry, and then I sanded down to a nice smooth finish. There's some sanding marks here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I guess so, yeah. But that obviously can be covered with primer and paint. Some parts that I didn't sand, I just wanted to show you anyway, like this part here. As you can see, the glue bleeded out. When it dries up a little later on today, I will sand it down, buff it down a bit. Also in the back area as well. Some of the like here, this part here that I didn't snip off, I let it there so that way I can sand it down and don't have to make that little gaping hole back there. The waist, the body itself, considering that this was a high this high grade didn't come with two parts, it was all one body. It's not going to be able, you can't turn the waist, it's solid, so that's pretty much a given, unfortunately. I sanded down many parts of the arms, especially here in the forearms where there's actually a seam line there. I don't think I see anything else visible that I could probably tell you that needs a little bit more work, but everything came out pretty well. Again, like I said, I did paint, I did glue specific parts like the legs and the arms. The body, I let it loose because I can pop it out and paint it normally, because I'm not going to do it like I did with the Type C, where I painted the whole thing, or actually I removed, you know, the legs and arms, but I'm going to remove more parts here so it makes it more freely for me to paint. The gun, like I said before, I put the putty there, but I ran out of putty, or not really ran out of putty. The putty that I had was already dried up, so I'm gonna have to buy myself some new putty, preferably I guess the Tamiya brand. Here's one observation that I did not know, and I may have to do something about this. You guys notice anything unusual here? The backpack has no back thrusters. What happened? Did somebody forget to put the back thruster back here? Because I know there are two thrusters back here. As a matter of fact, give me one. You stand right there for a second. Stay there. Okay. Since I don't have another high-grade Zaku to use as a reference, I'm pulling out my real grade Zaku II Char's custom kit to show here that in the back he had thrusters here. Now this one is a more advanced version of the thrusters, for those of you who don't remember, and I don't know if the lighting shows pretty well considering that it's a black background, as you see there, right? So this had a better thrusters than this, and I'm going to have to go online and look at other high-grade kits and see. I'm going to have to go buy aftermarket thrusters. Now this is pretty simple. All I need to do is drill some holes here, maybe put some vents, some vernier thrusters like that, and then put the two thrusters there. eBay is of course inundated with those aftermarket thruster parts, so I may have to look into that. However, if I'm not mistaken, the new Gunpla parts that Bandai has released will be releasing some thrusters in both 1/44th and 1/100th scale. I may have to go on sites like HobbyLink to see if I can get my hands on that. But yeah, this is it was a bit odd that this didn't come with thrusters. You stay there for a second. So I just want to give you a little bit more feedback on what I'm planning to do. Again, the eyes, I'm going to modify the head, do a little detailing around the forearms. Again, I've been thinking of removing this and maybe doing something else different. I don't know yet. I have to feel it out. So just guys give me a little bit of a break here. So a little plating here around the waist, along the chest, and around the outside of the chest. The one thing that I may be planning to do is remove the umbilicals. The umbilicals around the waist is understandable. The umbilicals around the legs can... well, I don't know. I've been thinking about something else. The umbilicals may stay, but maybe I'll modify the umbilicals. But the one thing that I have to now look at, and let me see if I can do this now, is the positioning of the suit. Because my original idea was, and I don't know if this can be done, lift up the skirts, bend this at the knees, bend this out like that, then bend this out like this. There we go. So my idea would be for this Zaku to like, here's the building and he's about to turn, but he has to look around a bit. So he would be like this in this position. One of the hands, which comes with other hands which I haven't looked at, may do some sort of weird gesture, like to say halt. And keep it like that. Whoops. I think I need to somehow modify the head a bit so I have a little bit more articulation, because this is going to be it's going to probably be like that. There we go. I see here that even if I bend it a little bit too much, it may pop out. So you guys, another thing you guys need to understand, that once I've got this position proper, I'm gluing it so it stays like that. That's the idea. So that's my intention, that's my idea. Let's begin modifying Zaku 2.